Hey, good afternoon to everybody. How's it going today? Texas Redleg here. Just got back in from out west Texas area and doing a lot of work at our little homestead slash compound. I got a lot of work done. It was really difficult, but we got her quite fortified and did a lot of capital improvements, which was great. And it's always good to get out there and see the real world, as I say it. But today's video, I wanted to just talk about a few areas, and I'm not going to try to get too political on this video. We all sort of know that that ship has sailed and what have you. But first topic I want to discuss is the 2A, and of course everybody's talking about it. If you're paying any type of attention to anything politically, it's no doubt a hot topic of our community, and the people that value it are really discussing the impact that this is likely to have, and it is going to change. I firmly believe that. I don't think there's any turning back. They have bills running through right now, or a bill running through the United States House that is going to drastically alter the way that we have been doing things by design, to make things very difficult and to heavily regulate and heavily tax us as 2A participants. And it is going to not only be a heavily regulated and taxed thing, but it's also going to make it, they're also planning to make it basically unaffordable and insurmountable, from the fact that all the background checks and shrink interviews and all these wacky things that they're going to require of people to own a firearm or to possess a firearm. It's crazy. And it's way out there, and it's definitely going to alter the way that you have to think about these things. So I would expect that any moment, rapidly as you can, and I would also prepare for those items to start flying off the shelves once again. So if you have anything, good for you. If you don't, sorry, but it's going to be extremely. If the bill passes the way it's fashioned, it is going to be extremely monotonous for anybody to qualify by the new bill contents to own a firearm, possess a firearm. It's just crazy. It's turning into from a right. It's going from a right to a privilege, is what it's going to, and I would really encourage people to, if they don't have anything, go get something quick. It is real sad, but we knew this was coming. We all talked about it. We all have been talking about it for years now, and what's going to happen if, because they told us that they were going to do this if they got power. So it's not like they haven't telegraphed this to everybody. And unfortunately, they've got all the power now. So it is what it is. I'm not saying comply or don't comply. I'm just telling you that the 2A, as it's written, is about to change forever, and we'll never get it back in the form that it was. That's my opinion. So that's my little political part of today's video. Just keep stacking those items as deep as you can until that bill passes. Also, I wanted to talk. The second topic I wanted to talk about was backups. Having backups to modern day items. For example, communications. Maybe it's, along with your cell phone, maybe you need to go grab a little two-way radio set that's, decent. There's different ones. There's expensive ones. There's inexpensive ones. There's middle of the road, which is what I have. but they they vary, and as far as strength and range and all that stuff goes. But it's real handy to have, especially if you got people within close proximity to you. They say they'll go 15, 20 miles or whatever, but that's pretty that's pretty advanced there, and I don't that that's probably on a flat plane with nothing in between you, perhaps, but I wouldn't expect to get that much out of a little set of two-way radios unless you spend a lot of money. Or live on a hilltop and have some really good antenna systems and things like that. Also, CBs are really cool. You can rig a CB, or you can buy a handheld CB for your vehicle and buy an external radio antenna that's tall, and it's like magnetic, and it'll stick to your roof or wherever. But there's a lot of CB radios out there that you can grab as far as having an alternative communication device besides a telephone, a cell phone. And phones is another one. And not everybody can afford it or wants to, but I would have a little analog cell phone, for different situations. Maybe just a little cash phone or whatever you call it, and pay by the month. But I would seriously consider that as a backup. And also cooking items like little gas grills, or little sterno cans, anything you can cook on that's more manually engineered or fired. So there's Coleman stoves, this and that. There's butane stoves. There's all kinds of cooking things there. Also, like manual can openers. A lot of people have the electric can openers, but you ought to get you a manual one if you don't have one, just to have a backup. Same thing like with a coffee pot. You can buy those little percolator style coffee pots. You can get them at Wally World or anywhere else that sells that kind of stuff, usually camping stores. And it's a good way that you can just heat up a coffee pot full of coffee and on a stove or whatever, flame, should you need it, should you have no choice. And also like tools like saws, like instead of a electric power saw, maybe you have a manual saw, in your preps or in your tool bag. And that goes with all kinds of tools. I mean, we're a modern day society. We love our electric tools, but it's always nice to have something for a backup manually in case power is an issue, or who God knows. I mean, it's just good to have backups in a manual fashion as well. So I would seriously look at having some manual backup tools and cooking devices to get you through any type of hard times. And the third area I wanted to discuss today was sort of a medical and dental category. Things like I think what you want to focus on is being able to fight infections. I think ideally with this virus and everything else going around the world, I think whatever you can do to stay out of a hospital, you're probably going the right direction. And they're just not a good place to be as a worker or a patient, quite honestly. But I would buy things or fill my medical / dental kit with things that might be able to keep you out of the hospital, i.e. fighting an infection. So one thing right off the top of my head is one of the old mercury style thermometers that goes under your tongue. Not a battery operated one, but just a manual regular thermometer. Those things may come in real handy one day, and I'd buy a few of them. I don't think they're very expensive, but I just keep some on, buy a few of them and have them, always have them, Another one is hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol. And you can clean a lot of things with hydrogen peroxide. You can rinse your mouth out with it, you can wash a wound out. There's a lot of uses for hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol as well. Along those lines, also for fighting infections, is the triple antibiotic ointment. That's a really handy ointment to have around for healing, after some type of wound or something like that. But you can buy little tubes of it, and They're a few dollars a tube. It's nothing special, but it's good to have around. And of course, you can just add that to your first aid kits or your trauma kits, whatever. But I would really consider having those things. That's just a few items, of course, but as far as the dental goes, I would have some. The hydrogen peroxide is good for rinsing out a mouth that may be cut or whatever, or if you have a bad tooth or you can't get to the dentist, and sometimes it's really painful to have this stuff. Dental pain's the worst, but if you can at least keep something clean, it's not getting infected, you've got a good chance of making it, because mouth, infections through the mouth go, enter the whole body, so that's a bad situation waiting to happen. So along with the lines of dental as well as hydrogen peroxide, you might think of getting like a little dental kit with some picks and maybe some different things where you can, get something out of a tooth that might be stuck or what have you, and then maybe some toothbrushes and toothpaste, things like that, maybe some mouth rinse, those types of items, maybe even some Orajel, that liquid anesthetic that for a toothache. Sometimes those will get you through a weekend or whatever if you have to. And so anyway, I would really consider making a little more robust kit in the medical dental field if you have the ability to, just in case things get wacky and you're on your own for a while, which could be the case. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I didn't want to go into too much political stuff, but figure out the two-way stuff that's getting ready to come down the pike, y'all. It's a serious thing, and I don't see it being able to be stopped, quite honestly. I think they consider themselves the ones with the power now, and that they are vindicated and doing what they feel they need to do, and it's going to be at the cost of us. So that sucks, but that's just kind of the way it is, and the way that they're doing things, it looks like. And they're going to ram it through, and we're going to be the recipients of a pretty bad bill that's going to affect us likely for the rest of our lives, unless some severe changes occur, to fight that, which could be possible. So get those backup items, manual style backup items filled, the manual can openers, coffee pot, tools, and then fill up those medical dental kits and get those things good to go, and don't wait and don't waste time. All right. So with that, keep prepping, stack it deep. Long live the Republic.